Secretary of Justice Department, and consistent with the principle of the President, the underlying principle under which his governance is based, which is serving and protecting the interests of the people. And if you notice, all his acts were undertaken and are being undertaken toward this end. And last night, the President stressed that water is a natural resource and therefore cannot be used merely as a commercial commodity and exploited to rake in billions of pesos in profits at the expense of the consumers, the Filipino people. And as President, he cannot, will not, and can never keep a blind eye to this colossal rip-off. Hence, the Chief Executive is giving the water concessionaires the option of accepting the new contracts minus the onerous provisions without any guarantee of not being criminally prosecuted together with those who conspired to craft the very onerous contracts, which are, as we have many times said, and as the President described it, void ab initio, or void from the very beginning, for violating the Constitution and the laws of the land. Should Maynilad and Manila Water refuse to accept the new agreements, the President will order the cancellation of their present water contracts, order the nationalization of water services in their respective areas of operation, and prosecute all those involved directly or indirectly in the arrangement that led to the present suffering of the Filipino people. The Filipino people have lost enormously with the unabated collections by these concessionaires, despite their dismal performance in supplying and delivering, distributing water. And as the President previously uttered in righteous indignation and outrage to them, and I quote him, "If you will not give justice to the Filipino people, I will get it for them." End of quote. There is a time for reckoning, and that time has come. End of statement.
Question, Joseph?
So would you be able to share with us the copies of the contracts, since you said it's been prepared by the DOJ and the OSC already?
It will be shared to you when the time comes.
But can you share with us the salient points of the contracts?
All the onerous provisions are removed. Those are
So ito yung non-payment of corporate tax.
no onerous provisions.
Okay. And may deadline ba sila when they should accept or refuse?
Wala na pag-usapan kapon, but siguro as soon as they receive the contract.
Has the contracts been sent to Manila?
Not yet. It was discussed extensively yesterday and was explained in detail. So
Similar contracts, sir, no? Similar contracts lang yan. I mean,
definitely
area lang yung
iba na ang
difference, no?
kontrata.
Area lang yung difference.
Huh?
Area of service lang yung difference, no?
What do you mean?
Yung, kumbaga, yung area of
The terms will be
responsibility
very, very different
from the
from the
existing.
previous one.
Okay, yun naman na, sir.
Francis and then Henry.
Good afternoon, Sec. Sir, verify lang or clarification lang. Nabanggit nyo kung papayag po ang Maynilad, ang Manila Water, yung mga owners, yung sa bagong kontrata, hindi na po kakasuhan ang mga owners, Ayala at
I said there is no guarantee that they will not be prosecuted.
Henry.
Secretary, you have mentioned water nationalization. Babawiin na ng gobyerno yung pagpapatakbo sa patubig kung hindi po susundin ng mga water concessioners yung bagong kontrata.
Hindi nila tatanggapin.
Okay.
And they will refuse to operate.
Thank you.
Ariane.
Hi, Sec. Sec, nakausap po ba ni President Duterte yung mga gumawa ng contracts before he came up with this decision? Hindi po. So, hindi na po nag-seek ng dialogue si President Duterte
Hindi.
contrary to what you earlier said. Okay, sir. And sir, last na lang po, will the President talk to the owners of Maynilad and Manila Water regarding this? Will he seek a personal meeting?
Hindi na kailangan siguro.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Julie.
Sir, about the nationalization of water concessions, paano mangyari yon? Like what he said earlier na military will take over? Or back to MWSS? Paano mangyari yun?
We'll come to that when it comes to fruition.
So it wasn't discussed yesterday in the cabinet meeting?
May follow-up question? Still on water? Other issue? No more? Tina. Microphone, please. Ariane.
Sir, dun
Yeah.
sa request sa request of special session ni Presidente, ano bang rational just for additional funds for the repatriation of oil?
Among other things. So also, so that members of Congress can talk about it.
But sir, don't we have enough funds since it's just the start of the budget year? Meron naman tayong funds sa ating mga OFW.
But hindi
or
baka
distressed
kulangin
materials.
yun. You were talking here of expatriation of roughly how many millions? Marami ito.
So in how much is the estimate of this
Hindi ko alam.
administration?
But that's what the President is asking them to meet in a special session.
Sir, the President has discretion over his social funds, tapping of PAGCOR and PCSO.
Whatever the President wants that or suggesting that Congress meet in a special session. This is a very major problem that confront our countrymen in the Middle East.
Sir, since this is really a big problem, sir, did the President discuss the provisions of the EDCA, Enhanced Defense
No.
Cooperation Agreement, whether the government will be allowing U.S. troops to pass by agreed locations in the Philippines for deployment to Middle East? If
No,
needed?
that wasn't discussed, but he has instructions with the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. I do not know exactly the instructions.
At this
But
point,
the Secretary of Foreign Affairs excused himself so that he could start working on the instructions.
there's no point, sir, at this time to discuss the provisions of the EDCA, whether we'll allow it.
If there are discussions, then it will be done.
Okay, thank you. Rose and then Alvin.
Sir, follow-up lang. Sir, napag-usapan ba yung posibilidad na magpadala ng Filipino troops in case na mag-escalate yung tension, kasi, as per Mutual Defense Treaty or Visiting Forces Agreement or EDCA,
I was not present during the meeting called with the president the other day. They could have discussed it. Hindi ko alam.
so kagabi pa hindi na pag-usapan.
That was not mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay, Alvin.
Good afternoon po, Secretary. Secretary, meron tayong umiiral na Mutual Defense Treaty sa Amerika. If force comes to worse po, ano mga senaryo yung obligado tayong tumulong sa US at magpadala ng pwersa ng ating militar?
Depende kung the provisions of the agreement will be observed, then necessarily it will be operational.
Follow up lang, Sec. Yung mga senaryo na na pwede tayong manatiling neutral kapag nagkaroon ng confrontation yung US saka ang Iran and
No,
Iraq.
teka muna. Hindi tayo magiging neutral. The president was very specific in saying last night that if the Filipinos are harmed, he will side with the Americans. That is precisely why he specifically instructed Secretary Mamao to go to Iran and Iraq and deliver a special message to the Iraqi and Iranian government of his urgent desire and wish that no Filipinos be harmed in the course of the conflict.
Thank you po, Secretary. Salamat.
If they will harm the Filipinos, then the president will not sit down idly and watch.
Ay, sir, kung nasaktan yung mga Pilipino dahil sa US airstrike, paano po yung ganun?
Ay, iba naman yun. Kung aksidente, ang sinasabi ni Presidente, huwag niyo idama yung mga Pilipino dyan sa away niya sa Amerika.
So iba
Kasi,
pa,
di ba, we're supposed to be allies of the Americans. And yung enemies might also attack not only the Americans, but the allies of the Americans.
pero pag nasaktan po yung Pilipino sa US airstrike, iba na naman yung magiging posisyon niya doon?
Tingnan natin. Let's see. We cannot preempt what the President is going to say
Jillian.
or react.
Sa water? Follow up muna. Tina and then, I'm sorry, Raymond.
Sir, nabanggit niyo, if Filipinos are harmed, the Philippines will side with US.
Yes.
Curious lang. Why?
O bakit naman hindi? Kung papatayin mo mga Pilipino, gusto mo sabihin, hindi tayo iimik. Ang kalaban nila, Amerikano. Kaya nila gagawin yon dahil kakampi tayo ng Amerikano.
What if US forces ang makapatay sa Pilipinas doon?
Sinagot ko na yan. Tinanong na yan, sinagot ko na.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tina, follow up.
Sir, is there now a shift of foreign policy?
Hindi naman. Ang sinasabi lang ni Presidente, huwag niyong idamay ang aking mga kababayan dyan. And most likely naman, palagay ko naman hindi nila idamay.
Sir, hindi ba
Kwentas claras lang para
kino-consider ni Presidente na act of aggression yung pag-assassinate ng US kay General Soleimani?
I will not make any stand on that. That's a fight between Americans and the Iranians. Ang foremost in his mind is the safety of our kababayans there. Yun lang ang kanyang concern.
Okay. Follow up, Joseph.
So when the President said that the Philippines will side with the United States, what does it mean operationally?
I don't know. Basta yan ang sinabi niya. I'm just quoting him. His exact words.
May follow-up question pa doon sa Julie.
Sorry, just for context, how did the president say yung kung may masaktan na Pinoy, kakampi siya sa
Hindi
Amerikano?
ko
Ano yung,
masaktan kung sasaktan nila.
yeah, ano po yung
Kumbaga,
context ng
intentional
conversation?
yung gagawin mo.
Yes, ano po yung context ng conversation? How did he mention it?
Ay, kasama
Ano
yun
yung
sa
dinidiscuss
discussion
niya?
Kasama sa discussion.
He was talking before, paano
During the cabinet meeting yun, Mia, alam mo, pag cabinet meeting, extensive yung discussion. Kasama yun.
Okay.
Yun ang isa sa mga sinabi niya.
Okay.
Maricel?
No, sir, just a clarification. So, parang nagbigay ng warning si Presidente against the government of
Not warning.
Iran.
It's a friendly caution. He's expressing his concern for the safety of his countrymen, which is foremost in his mind.
Okay, balik tayo sa issue ng water. Jillian.
Kung baga sinasabi niya, hindi kami kasali dyan, ha? Hindi kami sasama dyan.
Okay na tayo ulit sa water na, ha? Okay.
Good morning po.
Morning.
Sir, has the President ever mentioned any deadline on when these two water concessionaires will accept the contracts?
Wala naman.
Wala naman po.
Wait muna. Joyce?
Sir, just to be very clear, the President is talking
Hindi pa
about
pala
the
clear, ha?
present
O, sige,
contract,
natin
sir.
very.
The present
Clear pero
contracts.
hindi very. Okay.
The present contract, sir, no? Hindi
Yes.
ito yung contract na extended.
Kung
So he's
meron po ba
referring
ibang
to,
kontrata?
di ba sir, meron kasing extended contract, di ba?
Hindi, ganun din yan. Yung extension din, the same contract yun. In-extend lang yung,
Okay.
yung period.
Alright. And then sir, sa cabinet meeting, napag-usapan din po ba yung review of other concession agreements with the government?
Hindi.
Iba ba? Okay. Sir, kasama ba sa nare-review ng Palace or ng government yung concession agreement ng LRTA and regarding the
O, hindi
beef
ba
carts?
sinabi na natin nun, lahat ng kontrata na may onerous provisions.
Yun sir, kasama po ba yun? Yung
Lahat
sa
yun, lahat yun.
Kasama sir yung sa beef carts?
Lahat yun pag-aaralan at riripasuin ng President.
Eh,
Hindi matatapos ang termino niya na hindi niya tutuklasin ang mga onerous provisions in any existing contract involving the government.
Okay, thank you sir.
Okay, last two on water. Raymond and Joseph.
So
Then Tina.
you said you are already considering it as void ab initio yung contracts sa mga concessionaires, right? So, meaning, any other player or concessionaire interested to join, to bid with the concession contract is or are welcome. Aside from
Siyempre, kung
Maynila.
hindi nila tinanggap di ba? Kung ni-refuse nila yung kontrata, ayaw nila, o edi may bago kang players.
Regardless whether they will accept the new...
Hindi regardless, Raymond, ikaw naman. Meron nga bagong kontrata, so pinapatanggap, tanggapin niya yan. Kung tanggapin nila, di wala ng problema.
Pero what if merong other interested party?
May kontrata na nga, ano ka ba? Kung may kontrata na, di sila pa rin yun.
Sila pa rin.
Kaya nga may bagong kontrata eh.
Kasi...
Kaya nga sinabi, kasi late ka kanina. Ano di ba
Hindi,
sabi
yung
ko,
sa
if they teka muna, ang sinabi ko kanina, yan ang bagong kontrata, pero walang guarantee na hindi kayo po-prosecute kasi may crime na committed.
I'm taking from the strict definition of void ab initio. So meaning, walang kontratang pinag-usapan. So we are starting from scratch. So other players could be welcome to join.
Yung kontratang existing, as far as we're concerned, wala yun. Ayaw namin yun.
So,
wala yun. Illegal yun eh. O, ito yung bago, bibigyan namin kayo. Tanggapin niya yan. Kung hindi nyo tanggapin, ito ang gagawin namin.
Okay. So sa dalawa lang muna.
Okay, last two sa water, Joseph and then Tina.
So when you said nationalization, no? If they refuse nationalize tayo ng water services, that's government, right? No new players.
Ano na?
No new players.
O, nationalize eh.
So,
pag na-nationalize, di gobyerno may hawak.
Correct. So at least klaro tayo dun. Kasi may mga chismiser, di ba, na, you know?
Chismis lang yan.
Alright. Okay, sir. Yung pong validity ng contracts na ibinibigay ni Presidente dun sa yung bagong contracts, valid for how many years po ito?
Walang napag-usapan.
Okay. Last on water, Tina.
So, sir, hindi ba yan arbitrary ang government action? Can the government just void any other contract and the action of the executive branch?
Eh, kung void ab initio ba?
Pero sir, it's the
illegal.
executive branch who decided on its own that
Oh,
it
edi
is void
magdemanda
ab
sila
initio.
kung gusto nila.
So this is some sort of also kasi may rationalization. Is this government takeover?
Wala pang
Taking
takeover.
over.
Wala
So there's
pang
a plan
takeover.
kasi rationalization.
Wala pang takeover. Pagdating sa nationalization, yun ang mga takeover. Pero that's still constitutional kasi hindi ba, the government can take over public facilities in case of national emergency. Kung merong bagay na makakasira sa interest ng sambayan ng Pilipino, pwedeng mag-take over ng gobyerno.
So may national emergency na emerging because of this.
Aba, ano man tawag mo dyan? When you're being ripped off, you don't call that? That's against the interest of the entire Filipino people for many years. And not one single administration
Rose.
Ay, sir.
did any initiative to correct such colossal error.
Ay, sir. So, sa ngayon, sir, walang nag-exist na contract. Kasi sabi niyo void ab initio.
void
Paano
nga.
yung consumers? Paano kami ibibil nung dalawang water concessionaires? Paano kami magbabayad? Pwede ba kami hindi magbayad dahil wala naman nag-exist na contract ngayon?
Sa ngayon, lahat yan, ganun pa rin hanggat hindi nababago. So habang wala pa yung bagong kontrata, hindi yun ang gagawin nyo.
So hanggang kailan po maghihintay ang
Ay, di
consumers?
antay natin yung pagbigay ng kontratang bago at pagtanggap nila o pag-refuse nila.
Mga hanggang kailan po yun?
Ay, hindi natin alam. Immediately yun, siyempre. Hindi alam naman patagalin pa natin yan.
Julie, water?
Sir, just a follow-up from Rose's question. Di ba, kung void ab initio, di walang kontrata. Pero status quo muna tayo in terms of yung billing sa mga water consumers, correct? Ganun po ba yun? Pero kasi di ba, kung void ab initio, dapat walang sisingilin sa amin. Paano pag may mga consumer na will use that argument na void ab initio?
They cannot use that.
Because, why not, sir? Iko-question nila na, wala ba lang kontrata in the first place since 1997? Dapat di kami siningil since 1997.
Yun ang mga argumento ng mga pilosopo.
Okay. Bakit?
Pero yung
Why
katotohanan,
not, sir?
you have to pay. Kung hindi ka magbayad, puputulan ka nila. Kasi sila
Pero
sila pa ang in control eh. Hindi pa tayo eh.
Pero sir, paanong, kasi kung,
Ang sinasabi natin, as far as we are concerned, the government, yan ay void sa amin yan.
Okay.
Kaya hindi kami papayag yan. So tanggapin nyo na yung bagong kontrata, otherwise we will take over. Ganun lang kasi.
wait sir, are you, you're saying, so tama ba intindi ko sir, void ab initio yung contract between the government and Manila Water and Maynilad, but the contract between Manila Water and the consumer is not, correct?
Kulit.
Ganun po ba ibig niyo sabihin?
Basta, yun ang ulitin ko sinabi ko. As far as we're concerned, yung kontratang yan illegal. So precisely, we're giving you a new contract. Tanggapin nyo, pero walang guarantee na hindi namin kayo didemanda. Pag hindi nyo tinanggap, ayaw nyo mag-operate, then we will take over.
Okay. Speaking of the contract, sir, in-offer pa rin po siya sa Manila Water and Maynilad. Even if nagkaroon ng issue about the onerous provisions, gusto sila kaso.
Kaya nga walang guarantee na hindi sila ididemanda.
Yes,
Ano ba
sir.
kayo?
The point being, sir, ibig
ano
sabihin
pang
po ba,
point?
sir, ay satisfied pa rin ba si President Duterte sa services in general ng Manila Water and Maynilad? Kaya dun sa dalawa lang pa rin.
Kaya nga papalitan yung kontrata. Paano maging satisfied? Ano ba yan?
Hindi kasi, sir, kung hindi siya satisfied, he could have opened it up to other players. Di ba?
Kung may bagong kontrata, di susundin mo yung bagong kontrata, di you're forced to good na gawin mo yung dapat mong gawin. Otherwise, mawawala ka. Di ba?
Okay. So in other words, the President is giving these two water firms a second chance to prove themselves?
Ang pantawag mo dun.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. MPC question. Other issue. No more? Joseph.
May budget message po yung may copy tayo ng budget message.
Meron ba tayo? Wow. Bigyan na lang.
Within an hour, sir?
Within the hour. Within the hour.
Sabi mo yan, sir. So we start 1:01. You committed
Within the hour.
1:01. We will expect it at 2:01. Sir, yung sa repatriation lang, any other new instructions? Nakalipad na po ba si Secretary Mamao?
Basta, supposedly ngayon sila lilipad eh.
Oh, yeah?
Oo, sabi ni Presidente, bukas, lumipad na kayo.
Si Secretary Simatu and si Secretary Mamao, no? Yung dalawa po. Today.
Mahiwalay sila eh. Iba naman yung assignment ng isa.
Pero dapat lumipad na today. To talk to the Iranian government.
Si Secretary Mamao, more on particularly Iraq and Iran. Yung may special message siya, maglalayas doon siya doon. Ito naman si Mato, dahil sanay siya doon, he will lay the groundwork for the repatriation.
Logistics, sir, I mean. Sir, you said special message of the President today.
Yun na, yung special concern.
Yung
Yan na,
legal
huwag
side.
niyong saktan yung aking mga kababayan dyan.
Copy, sir. Thank you.
Okay.